Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video I'd like to review two classic British horror movies that I watched this week. I'm going to review Creep, which I watched last night, and I'm also going to review The Haunted House of Horror from 1969. Okay then guys, I'm going to start with the Haunted House of Horror. Now as per usual, before I say anything further about the movie and giving me thoughts on the storyline as a whole and a rating at the end, I'll just read you the blurb at the back of this edition just in case you're not familiar. Lovely edition as well by 88 Films. Yeah, so The Haunted House of Horror. Bored by their usual nightlife activities, a group of swinging London 20-somethings decide to get their kicks by partying in an abandoned haunted house. But when one of their number is found murdered, the gang is dragged into a world of horror. Starring Frankie Avalon and the likes of Richard O'Sullivan and George Sewell, this spooky 60s romp is a stylish tale of murder and secrets served up in Carnaby Street fashions and liberally splattered in blood. So there you go guys, that's the synopsis for the 1969 Tygon production, The Haunted House of Horror, formerly known as The Dark. Okay then guys, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the movie and give you my thoughts on the storyline. So as I say at the end, I'll give it a rating. Okay then guys, so yeah, first off, I must say how beautifully coloured this movie is. Something about 1960s movies that the colours just are absolutely gorgeous. You know, we could do it that now in these modern day horror movies, that most of which have that horrible dirty dishwater colour, but I always hate, you know. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one and got a great cast. I see Richard O'Sullivan from Man About the House, George Sewell, Frankie Avalon, the American singer, and yeah, fantastic. And there's some stills there, guys, from the movie. Yeah, keeps you guessing as well, guys. You don't know who the killer is till the very end. This is the third time I've watched this now, and this is the best edition I've had. You know, I'll just show you inside, guys, and I'll go on to talk more about the movie. So there's the reversible artwork, and you've got a little book as well inside, all about the movie, guys. Original press cuttings. Yeah, real 60s atmosphere, this one. One of the best 1960s horror movies in my personal opinion. The lovely Jill Howarth. She's great in that Tower. What's the title of it now? Tower of Evil. She's great in that as well. Fine actress in this, Frankie Avalon. Yeah, fantastic movie. George Sewell playing the copper. Yeah, great. So yeah, if you haven't seen The Haunted House of Horror, guys, I highly recommend you check it out. One of my all-time favourite British horror movies. Even get some of the script as well that was originally written. Yeah, I believe like there was a lot of controversy surrounding this movie, because the original the director, the guy who directed it, his name. Hang on a sec, I'll just get you his name. Michael Armstrong. A lot of his original storyline was cut, you know, and it did cause a little bit of like turmoil, you know. It's a lot of turmoil surrounding this movie because there was scenes that was cut out. One particular scene where one of the guys, when he gets killed, you see like a close-up of his face and you just see the blood, you know, just basically just come pouring out of his nose. So yeah, there was quite a few scenes excising this, guys. Yeah, so that's the booklet anyway. Okay then guys, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the story, what I thought of it, you know, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. I'll give you my thoughts on this movie, and I'll move on to the other one, Creep. Yeah. So as I say, yeah, so really enjoyable, good creepy atmosphere. I love the haunted house setting. There's one little itsy bitsy teeny weeny gripe, I had. It didn't really spoil the film to any great extent, but let's put it this way: the film would have been, you know, it wouldn't have harmed to have like left it out. And that's the like scene with the subplot involving George Sewell's character. He's playing like a kind of a copper and that, you know, and he's basically like he's acting like a kind of a weird prowler. He's watching these teens and that, you know, and he goes to the house of this girl here. I forget if it's his girlfriend or his wife and that, and he's just talking in the bedroom and that, you know. So I think, you know, it even says in the commentary, a lot of people said that scene could have been like left out, you know. But having said that, overall it's a great movie. If you like haunted house movies, you know, I think you'll enjoy this one if you haven't seen it. The Haunted House of Horror. A couple of interesting facts as well, guys. Now, the actual hotel where they filmed this movie is in Southport, was at the Royal Birkdale Hotel. It's demolished now, but it was a real haunted building because, like in the extras, some of the people who were connected with this movie, they report stories of like hearing strange noises in the building and that, you know. One happening, they were all standing in, I think it was the back kitchen, and next minute all the lights switched off of their own accord, and then they'd often hear the lift going up and down and that, you know, and it wasn't powered, yeah. And also when the workmen went in to demolish it, one of them had a dog, and the dog wouldn't go near. It was fearful and that, you know, it was whining, that wouldn't go over the door. So yeah, real haunted building. I'll also look that up, the Royal Birkdale Hotel in Southport, and find out a little bit more about it, you know, with me writing books on the true paranormal as well as fiction. Yes, I'll have a look at that, yeah. But getting back to this, guys, yeah, lovely cinematography, great solid cast of teenagers and that, you know, great. I like the contrast as well between the brightly coloured party scene in London. It was reminiscent a little bit of the party scene in Dracula AD 1972. If any of you have seen that movie, very reminiscent of that, you know, these young teens enjoying themselves and that, partying and that, you know. And then, like, it moves to the haunted house. They all go to this haunted house and that, you know, secluded hotel really, like in Southport, and everything just basically goes like off the rails then, you know. But yeah, really enjoyable movie, and Richard O'Sullivan, nice to see him in a spooky movie and that, you know, from Man About the House. And but yeah, fine cast all around, yeah. And yeah, there was another singer as well in this, Mark Winter, you know. But yes, it's like some people like they said like they had a bit of a problem with Frankie Avalon being in it because he seemed a little bit out of place, but I didn't mind. I thought he'd done a good job myself, you know. But it's all a matter of opinion, really, isn't it? Now, but yeah, great cast and that, and ACA Films are really knocking out of the park with these special editions, guys. Yeah. So if you love British horror movies from the 1960s, you want to get this one and add it to your collection, yeah. Yeah, so really atmospheric, yeah. There's not all that many kills in it. Oh, there's one particular brutal or really bloody kill, guys. I won't go into detail, but there is one fairly bloody one. There's an even other one that sort of like exceeds that. But so be prepared to cringe when you see it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But yeah. Okay then, guys. So yeah, on to a rating now for the Haunted House of Horror. I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10. It just lost the point for the George Sewell subplot, which I think could have been taken out, you know. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. And as I say, if you love your British horror movies set in haunted houses and that, you know, I think you'll like this one. Oh, I've got another fact to tell you as well. David Bowie was originally I think he auditioned for it, but he got turned down. So one or two of the people said in the commentary it would have been great to see him instead of Frankie Avalon, but that's what can you do? That's how it turned out. Yeah, but Frankie Avalon, it was all right, Frankie Avalon. I didn't mind him and that, you know. So okay then, guys, yeah, so 9 out of 10 for 1969's The Haunted House of Horror. As I say, if you love these kind of movies, you've got to add it to your collection, yeah. Okay then, guys, I'm going to move on now to a British movie that was made much later in 2004, set on a creepy London underground station late at night, and that movie is called Creep. Now, again, I'm going to read you the blurb at the back, talk a little bit more about the movie, and give you the rating. Your journey terminates here. London, midnight on a cold winter's evening. Unable to find a taxi in the West End, Kate, played by Franca Potente, heads for the underground. Slightly tipsy, she waits for the last train but drifts off to sleep and awakens to find everybody else gone. Gripped by panic, she attempts to leave the station. She realises she has been locked in. As the train pulls into the platform and she boards, somewhat unnerved, the only passenger, a relief at finally being on her journey home, turns to alarm when halfway through the train jerks to a halt and her carriage is plunged into darkness. Kate is about to face the first in a series of terrifying events, ones that will shatter her nerve and chic composure, testing her endurance to the limit. She is not alone in the maze of nooks and dark crannies. Lurking in the pitch-black maze is something unimaginable, something that calls a hidden laboratory home, and something that won't leave Kate alone. So there you go, guys. That's the blurb for the 2004 British horror movie, Creep. A fantastic movie from writer-director Christopher Smith, who also did Severance, Triangle, and Triangle. Yeah, Creep delivers relentless scares and psychological suspense, making it a nightmare you can't escape. Okay then, guys, so there you go. That's the synopsis for Creep. And again, lovely addition. And I don't like these bloody J cards though, guys. I absolutely hate them. I wish they'd stop doing them. I really hate them. Those bloody J cards. So there you go, guys. There's the back. I've waited so long for this to come out on Blu-ray. It really made up. There's the original DVD cover. Really made up to get it and that, you know. And there's the special features, guys. I've watched one last night. I've still got all the others to watch. Yeah, Q&A with the cast. Fright Fest and that, yeah. So I've got to watch all them. But yeah, I would say Creep is one of my all-time favourite railway horror movies, and I think that everybody did a great job with this, especially the main protagonist and that, you know. She wears a really nice yellow dress and that, you know, she's like, it really stands out, the colour really stands out and that, it really pops off the screen. Lovely colour, did a great job with the restoration. So yeah, very, very spooky setting. As I said, like when I read the synopsis, like, you know, she wakes up and that on the railway platform, there's nobody there and that, you know, and if she starts panicking, she runs upstairs, it's locked up, you know, there's no guards anywhere, and you really feel for her, like in this state of isolation. I know how creepy railway platforms can be, because I've been on them many a time over the years and that, you know, when nobody's, you know, after being out, having a nice out and that, and getting the last train, and sometimes there's hardly been anybody there on the platform. It can be very, very eerie places. I've actually got a book full of railway horror stories. I might show you that one. I might do like that on my books channel, my Alan Toner Horror Writer channel. Yeah, but yeah, I really enjoyed this, guys. Really great, gripping railway horror movie, and the creature when you see it, oh my word, that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, but oh yeah, and there's a really annoying character in it, guys. One of her, I think he's one of her office colleagues, and that, you know, he's she thinks she's alone on the train, and next minute he's there, like she thinks it's the guard. She sees this like figure shine light, and next minute it's him. She's, oh, it's you, so and so, and that, you know. And he tries to rape her, and that. He's like a bit of a sex fiend, and that. But yeah, he meets his comeuppance, you know, in a quite bloody fashion, yeah. And then she runs into these characters like who are sort of like squatters, who are sort of like you know, dossing out under the railway tunnel, you know, this boy and girl and that, the Scotch guy, and she asks them for help and that, and she wants to know if there's any guards there, and the Scotch guy says, well, yeah, I won't give too much away, guys, you know, in case you haven't seen it, but she has to pay for it, you know, for the Scotch guy to tell her where the guard is and that, but he's not much help either. But yeah, they did a great job, and a really creepy, eerie atmosphere, and, you know, it's like, it's quite reminiscent of the other railway horror movie, Deathline, with Christopher Lee, that was made, I think it was about 1975 or 76. That's a good one, but it's not as good as this one, Creep. Yeah, oh, he's a real evil fiend, this creature, you know, who's living in the deep in the bowels of the railway station. And but yeah, great movie. Highly recommend it. And yeah, there's some stills there, guys, from the movie. Yeah, really ominous atmosphere throughout, right from when it starts, right from when she's locked in the railway station and that, you know, deserted and that, you know. And or if you don't like rats as well, you might you might be well advised to skip those parts, because you see a lot of rats, and as it, you know, it goes without saying, a lot of these railway stations like are snowing with rats, aren't they? Yes, so beware of the rat scenes, yeah. But yeah, great performance by the main female protagonist, who's actually a German girl, you know. But I really enjoyed Creep, you know, and as I say, it's in my all-time top 5 of horror railway, you know, horror railway movies, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen Creep, you get yourself a copy, yeah. Okay then, guys, I'm going to give a rating now. I'm going to give Creep 10 out of 10, because I enjoyed every single minute of it. Yeah, solid performances by all the cast, very creepy, ominous atmosphere, very dark movie, and I've never seen a girl do so much running. She must have been knackered when she'd finished this film, the main girl, you know, the main female protagonist. She must have been absolutely exhausted and that, you know. Case, the girl's name is played by Franca Potenza. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But she, oh yeah, I've never seen a girl do so much running. Not only in a railway station, but anywhere really. She's just running down these dark tunnels and that, getting up, trying to get away from this creature and that, and other things that are lurking in the dark. But yeah, it's a great horror movie. This is how British horror movies should be made. No stupid teenagers in them and that, and a great atmosphere. Yeah, so 10 out of 10 for Creep. Okay then, guys, that rounds up my double bill. Double review of these two excellent horror movies, Creep from 2004 and The Haunted House of Horror from 1969. If you haven't got these movies, guys, I highly recommend that you get them. They're absolutely fantastic, and they've got a great rewatchability factor, and I shall definitely be watching these again. Okay then, guys, that's it. That concludes my double review. Yeah, I hope you're all okay in that and staying cool in this bloody hot weather. Let's hope it breaks over the weekend. Yeah. Okay then, guys, that's it. I'm going to go now. Oh yeah, before I do, I hope to be back next Thursday night at 8:30 with a special Easter horror live stream. I'll be putting the promo up anyway on Facebook and that, the thumbnail. So yeah, so I'd like to do a nice I haven't been on for a while, last couple of weeks. So I'm going to do a special Easter horror live stream next Thursday. I say Thursday. Okay then, guys, the usual. If you like the video, please feel free to share, subscribe, comments, and all going well. I shall see you all soon. Take care. Bye for now. If you enjoyed watching this video, guys, you might like to check out my website at www.alantoner.com. You'll be able to find out a little bit more about my work as a writer and all the books I have published to date. Thanks for watching.